Welcome to the Fitness Simplified podcast. I'm Brooke Davis, women's functional nutritionist and fitness specialist with Elysian Women's Wellness, and I'm here to simplify your fitness. Today, I am so excited to share a very inspiring journey from one of our amazing clients here at Elysian Women's Wellness. She came to us looking for real, lasting changes in her health, and her progress has been nothing short of incredible. In this interview, you will hear firsthand about some of the challenges she has faced prior to working with us, navigating some of them through working with us, and the goals that she set and everything she has achieved and been successful with along the way. We really hope that her story brings you insight into what it's like to work with us and that it inspires you if you might be one of those people who are on the fence about investing in your own wellness journey to push you over the edge. So let's dive in. Hello, Paulina. Thank you so much for jumping on with me today. Let's go ahead and just start if you want to share a little bit about you.
Okay. Hi, Brooke. Well, I live in Alaska, Juneau, Alaska. I started the program about 6 months ago. Currently, I work for an engineering company, so I work remotely, which is great. I have 2 dogs, 2 geckos, a blue-tongued skink, and I probably have 1,000 more animals if I could. I play tennis for fun. Lots of hiking around here. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Love it. What was the third thing you said? A blue what?
A blue-tongued skink. It's a type of lizard.
Nice. Yep. Nice. That's awesome. I've never heard of that. Super fun. All right. Well, let's dive into really why everybody is here listening today. You said that, so we've been working together for, I think, a little over 6 months or so now. I am curious, what were you looking to kind of achieve when you started working with us, and where were you? So tell us a little bit about kind of your history, and then what were you looking to change? What goals did you have when you started with us?
Yeah. Well, my goal was just to lose weight. I wasn't happy with my weight. I wasn't happy with how I looked in pictures. And I just tried the gamut of things. And so I just started looking around, what else can I do? And then a friend actually was working with you, and she only had good things to say. So I think I joined your Facebook group first, and then you had posts of things. And I reached out to you one day, I think, just being I need help. I can't do this. And you were ready and go to help. So
Awesome. So I'm curious based on, you said you had tried the, gambit of things. Can you tell us a little bit more about, specific things you had tried and why you felt like they weren't working? Why, were they not stable for you? Obviously you weren't seeing the results that you wanted, but do you dive a little bit deeper into that if you could?
Yeah. Well, I did Beachbody for 4 years, tried that. And I think the main problem there is that what's going to work for one person is not necessarily going to work for me. So I was seeing people do 7 days of cardio, or, 4 days of strength training, or this new bar workout. And see, someone would say, oh, this is making me lose so much weight, or don't eat carbs, or eat yogurt first thing in the morning. So I would try all those things being well, it's working for you, so let me try it. Basically, if they said start eating milk for every meal, I probably would do it. So I think it's because just because it works for someone else, doesn't mean it's gonna work for you. And you just get tired of trying all these things, and then you're just screw it. I don't want to, I'm tired of it. So I think it's because it's meant for the masses, and it works for people that are already fit, not for people that need help.
Right. That was, I think, one of the things that you had said when, we talked on the phone, and you were like, I'm ready to just say screw it all. I don't know what else to do. I feel like I'm working my butt off. You said you were doing 7 days a week, sometimes twice a day, feeling like you were not eating very much, which once you actually came to us, we found out you were in fact not eating enough.
Yeah.
And then from that, I think, you had mentioned your energy levels weren't great. Obviously, you weren't seeing the changes in your body that you wanted, and you ultimately were not enjoying it. That wasn't how you wanted to live your life, right?
Yeah, but I was willing to do it if I thought that I was going to gain something from it. So I was okay, twice workouts a day. Okay, well, if that works, I'll do it. but then it didn't work, So it was frustrating when other people were posting on Facebook being like, look how thin I am. And I lost 30 pounds in 2 days. And I'm like, sure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, exactly. So there's that. That's for another podcast.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing that, because I know you're not alone. I told you this when we talked, and I know a lot of
Yeah.
listeners are going to resonate with that story, because I personally have talked to so many women that have the same one. They, are trying these cookie cutter programs, and while some of the bigger names in those programs and some of the people promoting them might be seeing some big changes, a lot of other people are not. And on top of that, it's not sustainable and it doesn't fit their lifestyle. And so it's not something that they stick with after, the 21 days or the 89 days or however long the program is. And so even if they do get results, they usually don't stick around.
Right. Yeah. Well, and it's like you do the program and then what? Then it doesn't work enough. So then you have to do the program again or try a different program. So you're just kind of like in this cycle of just talking to someone, seeing someone post on TikTok, like, this is what I eat in a day. And this is how I maintain my weight. Or someone posting on Facebook, that worked for them. Like the whole thing of asking someone else what's going to work for them wasn't getting me anywhere, because I was like, okay, tell me exactly when you eat, how much you eat, to the what kind of bread, what kind of cheese. Like I was willing to copy their whole entire meal if it had to come to it. And they were just like, why are you asking me these aggressive questions?
They're all, that's a little personal. I'd like you to stay out of my my personal affairs, Paulina.
I'm like, I just need to know, okay?
Yeah. And that is the beauty of what we do. So after you came to us, how did we help you kind of overcome all of that and navigate the struggles that you were dealing with some of those cookie cutter template programs?
Well, I think you guys just had a very different approach to what I was used to. So you guys started with the smallest little things that I was just like, at first I was kind of like, what? You want me to just drink water? That's what's gonna, what? I know to drink water. But it was just small, tiny habits that you guys made me build on that I was not doing before, that I was trying to find the big picture solution, where you guys were just trying to find and give me tiny things to change to make a big change. And you guys were able to work with, any kind of schedule change I had, any type of stress I had, any type of negating situation. You were like, well, if this doesn't work, then how about you try this? And you guys always had kind of another option, where before I would just be like, well, that doesn't work, I'm not doing it. So I think it was the small little habits that you guys built that made the difference, because I was like, oh, now I have to eat protein, now I have to drink water, I have to get my fruit in, I have to get my vegetables in. Before I was just thinking calories only, exercise. Those were my only two habits. Don't eat over this many calories, exercise. So it was just little things that you don't think about.
Yeah, I love that, because you're basically the phrase that comes to mind is missing the forest through the trees, right? You have this big picture of eat less, move more. You're like, all right, I'm on it. And that is ultimately what most programs preach and what they teach and try and get you to do. But there are, like you said, so many little pieces, right? All the trees in there that are actually the building blocks of the big picture and of the big results that are going to happen. And then, of course, there is the fact that you're like, okay, well, even this big picture is great, but what if I can't do this little piece in this exact way? Or what if my schedule doesn't allow for 2 workouts a day? How do I navigate that,
Right.
And so and your schedule, to be honest, is better than a lot of them that we work with in terms of, consistency. You have a pretty consistent schedule, which is great. But there are just things that come up that, again, when you don't have somebody to be like, okay, well, how about this? Could we try this? Or asking you sometimes, what do you think? What do you, and a lot of times it's
yeah, I think having a sounding board too, anytime I have a question, anything comes up, I can just ask one of you. I don't have to go to like my friends or look online, or try to figure out myself. I can just be like, hey, this is not working, where I didn't have that before. I just had to like figure out my own and then see what my friends were doing, what was working for them. So just having like one answer or someone that knows from like a health perspective and a nutrition perspective, like the actual answer instead of 7 different answers online is key.
Yeah. Yeah. Most of which are probably just guessing anyways.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And I am glad that you have felt supported in that way, because obviously that is our goal. Everything that we do is individualized. So we are hoping to tailor your program to you. And I know that especially starting out, you were like you said, you're like, wait, you just want me to do that? Like, this is it? Like, are you sure?
Yeah.
And
I was
that
like, how is this going to work? I was like, I already drink water. How is that going to change? But like, you guys snuck things in. It's very strategic.
It is. It is. And thank you for noticing. Yeah, and that individualized approach and those little things adding up, as well as making them fit your schedule, is ultimately what most people need to be successful. So I am curious, at this point, can you just give us kind of all the good, as far as things you've achieved, things you feel like you've progressed on, things you've learned, all of your successes. Share all the good things that you have so far.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of them. I've had like a huge change in mindset. Like my mindset before was just like, I want to be skinny. That's it. I don't care. I don't care how I get there. I just want to be skinny. And so like now I'm like, I just want to be healthy. I just want to look good. I want to feel good. So that's been a huge change because like before I had like a number, like I need to be this many pounds and that's it. But now I'm like, I don't care. I don't care if I'm this number as long as I feel good outside of my body, as long as I feel good inside. That's what I care about. And so that's been one, which was a huge thing for me. I have lost, I think, 10 pounds or so since we started. Definitely down a pant size. Like I have pants that I'm like scooshing up, which is like a good problem to have. But before it was like going the other way. Definitely much stronger. I play tennis at just like the power that I have now when I hit a ball is definitely noticeable. Everyone's like, whoa. And I'm like, yeah, I work out.
Yeah, I work out.
So I work
No big
out.
deal.
This is what I work out for. But yeah, confidence that, I think I have more energy. I have better habits. I'm trying to work on my discipline. I think that's the hardest thing. But like all the habits, I'm learning to be more disciplined and not just do whatever is motivating, whatever is fun. So, yeah, I think a lot of great stuff that like I wouldn't have gotten by myself, for sure.
Awesome. I love all of those. And, your story again is super common. So many women come to us and are like, okay, I want to be this weight on the scale. Like, this is what I'm going for. And, so often I come in like, I don't even care how you do it, but the reality of it is that how you do it is what matters most, because if you do it the wrong way, you won't stay there. And so that's where, those little habits, just slipping them in, right? Starting with the water and all these little foundational habits come in is what creates that sustainability. And the discipline is continuing those habits and then continuing on, to add on to them. But I'm curious, you mentioned you like had this number in mind when you came. Do you feel like your body has changed to the point where you're like, even though, I'm going to put this in quotes, like you've only lost 10 pounds in a pant size, like that's a significant amount of weight still. But having that number in mind, do you feel like your body looks different than what you expected it to based on what you thought you would be at that number?
Yeah, I think so. I thought that I would be, I think I thought that like at the current weight, I would still feel like not where I want to be. Like I would feel overweight. I would feel icky. But I feel great, even though like I'm not close to my magic number. So like maybe it's just because like I have more muscle And like before I didn't have that muscle. So like the weight, obviously muscle weighs more than fat. And we all know that. So like, I think that maybe shows is that even though I'm not at my magic number, I feel better inside. I feel better in my clothes because, muscle looks better than fat.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought it would take a lot more,
Right. Right, exactly. That is, again, something very commonly like, women they're losing inches more and, their body shape is changing and they're seeing curves where they want to see them and tightening up where they want to see things tighten up. But the scale isn't necessarily like doing what they think it should be doing. And that is where, again, muscle comes in, strength training, and that, again, foundational like nutrition habits. And the other thing I have to touch on is I know that when you came to us, you were not eating very much. And when we gave you your calorie intake, you were like, wait, what? So not only are you down that weight, like you're losing that pan size, but how much more are you currently eating than when you came to us?
Yeah. No, when you guys gave me the calories, I was like, that's so much food. What are you talking? When you guys told me 30 grams of protein per meal, I was like, you're insane. I don't think I've ever eaten 30 grams of protein in a day. Like, that is just insane. Like, I couldn't wrap my head around it. I kept being like, okay, I'm gonna eat my protein. Just being like, I can do this. It was a struggle. And then being like, how many more calories do I have to eat? Like, I had to force myself to eat the food because in my mind, that was so much food that I was definitely going to gain weight. And I didn't, which then I was like, wait, hold on. What? I was shocked.
Yes.
I thought for sure that you guys were going to be like, just kidding. You can't eat that much.
Just kidding. We're taking that away. We lied. I take it all back.
But then, like, every time you guys have given me more calories, I lose more weight. Every time we go down in calories, my body revolts. So it's completely different than what you hear mainstream, eat less, move more. That's totally opposite of that.
Yeah. I love that. You are a perfect example of that as well. And because I think when you came to us, you were eating like 1,400 calories and we had you at an upwards of 19 at one point.
Yep.
Which I know to most women, and you're what, 5'3", 5'4"?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. 5'3".
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So, for reference, ladies, because, most people come to us and I tell that like 2,000 calories is like an average intake. And, that's for I think a 5'4" or no, 145-pound woman. There was no height, but, that is an average intake. And so when you add exercise on top of that, and then you also started playing tennis, which is amazing. And that's something that you enjoy and you love, but that's also been something that you've been able to do. And that's something that, we've had to work around, not only right with your strength training, making sure that you're still getting that in, not overtraining, because we did see some plateauing when it came to that, in which we also then had to give you some more food to keep your body like happy. And that was one of the times when you saw that plateau, we gave you more food, and then you actually dropped from there. And so that varying output is something that gets, again, completely overlooked with these cookie cutter plans, because people are like, oh, I'll just throw in these extra, workouts. And they don't account for that nutritionally, and they just start to deplete their body.
Yeah, because none of the programs ever say like, oh, if you work out more, you should eat more. It's always just like, work out more if you're not seeing the progress, or cut down your carbs. But then you're just exhausted and then you stop doing it because you're like, or you hurt yourself. Like, I definitely hurt myself a ton because I was like overtraining probably, because I was like, well, it's not working, so let's just add doubles today, or let's go run, or let's do whatever. Like, I ate a huge meal, let's go on the treadmill to get that off. So yeah, they don't account for that at all. And I am very guilty of overdoing it.
Yes, we know. We're still trying to work on that. We're getting it toned down, but we're finding that balance, I think.
Yeah, we are finding that balance. I'm definitely like, I was invited to play tennis today, and I was like, ooh, I really want to say yes, but no, I'm strength training today. I can't do both. But it was really hard. It was hard to have that discipline to say no and to have that
Well, good
boundary.
for
I was
you.
like, Courtney
Right.
said to have boundaries. Okay, I'll do it. I'll have a boundary. I was like, go me.
Yes, yes, I am so proud of you. Um, yes, we're learning all sorts of things here. This is not just a physical journey, right? It's so much mental in so many different ways. So I'm so proud of your growth, Paulina. That's amazing.
Yeah, and I think most of it's mental, really.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
speaking of carbs, I know that you were one who was doing more of a low carb diet also when you came to us. Can you tell us kind of what that transition has been like mentally, and then kind of where you're at now in terms of your thoughts on?
Well, at first I was kind of scared of eating carbs. Not like scared that I thought they were going to kill me, but I thought for sure that I was going to gain weight. And I think at one point Courtney was like, you're not eating enough fat or carbs. And I was like, but I had 3 yellow containers, and that's more than 3 yellow containers, and my brain couldn't go past that. But then I was like, oh, I really enjoy eating carbs. These are delicious, and I'm not gaining weight. Maybe this is fine. But at first, I thought the only way I could lose weight was just not eating them. And that's kind of a lot of the programs, what they tell you to do is eat vegetables, eat no carbs, and so you develop this fear that if you eat carbs, it will turn to fat and you'll gain weight. So but slowly you guys were like, you need fuel. You can't run on empty. And I was like, okay, all right, I get that. So maybe this whole time my body was actually needing that and I was keeping it from it. So definitely feel better. Now I'm not scared of carbs. Like I'm trying to choose good ones, obviously, but I don't feel like now it's going to cause me to gain weight. I feel like now, as long as I'm mindful, I can enjoy them and not feel like I'm depriving myself.
Yeah, I love that. That is, again, just so common because of programs that people have done before. So just for reference, I have to throw this out there. So you actually hit a new low after your week of maintenance, which was 2,100 calories and 220 grams of carbs.
Yep. Which is insane.
Again, for
so many
reference,
carbs.
yeah, it is. That is a significant amount of carbs. I mean, for anybody, that's a lot of food and a lot of carbohydrates, but your body literally took it all in and was like, cool, we needed that. It used it and you dropped. So
yeah, which is crazy. It's crazy. It's not like
that is,
you would never think that. It's shocking. Yeah. It's like you guys know what you're doing or something.
yeah. I would say I like to call it my magic tricks, but it is just science. It's great. Carbs, for those of you who don't know, carbs are our body's main and preferred source of energy. And obviously they do have to be balanced with proteins and fats, but they are not the enemy. So I love that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we are coming up in our time, but I am curious, and if you haven't changed somebody's mind by now, I don't know what would, but what would you say to someone who is on the fence about hiring us to help them through their journey?
I think what I would say is that in order to see change, you have to invest in yourself. And no one else is going to invest in you. And if you haven't seen a change yet and you've tried gazillions of things, why not find someone that can have a personalized plan for you? Why not find someone that can actually work with you one-on-one? Because you can throw money at whatever programs you want, but if you don't take the time and make the changes, you're not going to see them. And you can find an easy way out, right? Like all those easy pills or weight loss plans, like you can try them, but they're not going to last. So I would say invest in yourself and take the leap.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you so much, Paulina. I so appreciate your time. I appreciate your effort in all of this. Your consistency has been amazing. And ultimately, we've helped provide the plan and the education and the knowledge behind it all, but we don't do the work. We can't do the work for you. You have done it. And so that is where your success has come from. And it's been so cool to watch your transition, because I know there was some real apprehension when you came to us. I so appreciate you putting your trust in us and following through with the things that you said you were going to do, not just for us, but for yourself. And obviously that has paid off for you in a ton of different ways. And it's been very cool to see. So thank you for trusting us. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of your journey. It's been an honor, and it's been so fun getting to know you more. Like I said, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you being here and sharing all of that as well.
Yeah, thank you, Brooke. No, obviously I appreciate you guys. You guys have made like a world of difference in my life. So more people need to hear about you and get your help.
Yay, love it. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Fitness Simplified podcast. We are stoked to have you join us on your journey to better health and fitness. If you have any questions, suggestions for future topics, or just want to chat, feel free to reach out to us on Instagram at Brooke_Elysian and Facebook linked in the show notes, or via our website, ElysianWomensWellness.com. If you enjoyed what you heard today, we would be thrilled if you could take a half second to leave us a 5-star rating and review. Not only will you be helping others find our show, but you'll also be entered into our monthly $100 giveaway for new reviews. If there was something you heard that was helpful or impactful, please screenshot it, tag me, and share what it was so that we can bring you more. Plus, you'll be entered into our monthly Elysian Recharge post-workout giveaway. New episodes drop every Monday, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more. Thanks for listening.